Today we're going to do with sex determination. So human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Out of these 23 pairs, 22 sets of chromosomes are called autosomes and one pair is called the sex chromosomes. Sex chromosomes are generally of two types, X and Y. So a female will always have two X chromosomes, that means they are homogametic for X chromosome, whereas a male will have one X chromosome and Y chromosome. So basically Y is the chromosome which gives the male sex. So a female will always contribute a gamete that contains only one X chromosome, but whereas a male contributes two gametes, one being either X or the other being Y. So obviously females always end up having one X chromosome from the mother and one X chromosome from the father, but whereas the males will end up having one X chromosome from the mother and one Y chromosome from the father. So generally when we talk about sex determination in human beings, it is because of the X and Y chromosomes. For males, the combination is XY. That means they are heterogametic, but whereas the females, they are homogametic because they have two X chromosomes. Similarly, in Drosophila, that is your fruit fly, the sex chromosomes are also determined by X and Y. But in addition to X and Y, it is also determined by the X by A ratio. That means the ratio of the X chromosomes to the ratio of autosomes. I'll go into this detail later. Similarly, let's just discuss about sex determination in birds. In humans, the sex determination was XX and XY. That means XX means females and XY means males. But whereas in the case of birds, they follow a ZZ and ZW pattern. That means it's just the opposite. In birds, the males are homogametic, but whereas the females, they are heterogametic. So this is a sex determination in birds. Similarly, if we talk about sex determination in bees, it is rather not because of the sex chromosomes, but rather whether they have a complete set of autosomes or half set. To understand this, bees, there are three types: the queen bee, the worker bee, and the males. Queen bee and the worker bee are females and they have diploid set of chromosomes. Males, they have only haploid set of chromosomes. That means the chromosome number is just half of what it is supposed to be in the queens and the workers. So in order to understand the X by A ratio, also known as balance theory, proposed by C.B. Bridges, what he did was he crossed a triploid female with a diploid male. Already I told you males have X and Y and females have only XX. But in this case, the female is a triploid. That means they have three sets of chromosomes, but whereas the males have diploid. So from this, the gametes you will be getting is one set of gamete this, or either in the females they will be having, in the males they will be producing. So if we combine this with this gametes and this with this gametes, what are we supposed to get? Let's just draw a graph. So this gametes, when I'm crossing with this is what I'm getting. So let's just take the X by A ratio. That means the number of X chromosomes divided by the number of autosomes. So in this case, there are 2 X chromosomes. 2 divided by 3 comes somewhere between 0.6. In this case, the ratio is, in this case, number of X chromosomes is 2, number of autosomes is 1, so we're getting 1. In this case, 1 by 2, we're getting 0.5. In this case, 1. In this case, 1.5. In this case, 0.3, and in this case 0.6. Now the unique thing about X by A ratios, if it is equals to 1, then the individual becomes female. If the ratio is 0.5, the individual becomes male. If the ratio ranges between 0.5 to 1, the individual becomes an intersex. If the ratio is greater than 1, then the individual becomes super female, and if the ratio is less than 0.5, the individual becomes super male. So that means in this case the ratio is 0.6. That means it ranges from 0.5 to 1. So this individual is an intersex. In this case the ratio is 1. That means this individual is a female. Similarly, ratio is 1. This individual is also a female. 0.5 male, 1 female, 1.5 super female, 0.3 super male, intersex. So super male and super female does not mean that these individuals have superpowers. It just means that these individuals have a slightly different characters as compared to the normal males and females. The characters might be either a long pair of wings as compared to normal males, or longer legs. So these X by A ratio is also known as balance theory of sex determination in Drosophila. Drosophila is a fruit fly. In addition to sex determination by the sex chromosomes, that is X and Y, sex determination in Drosophila is also determined by the X by A ratio. So I already told you that the males have XY and the females have XX chromosomes. Now just imagine if a female has only one active syndrome, then this particular thing is called Turner's syndrome. Instead of having 2 functional X chromosomes, the individual has only 1 functional X chromosome. That means the female, such a condition in the female is called Turner's syndrome. Such individuals are sterile, mentally retarded, and their bodies are also short. They have short necks. But the males have X and Y. In some rare cases, the males may end up having an extra X chromosome. That means they are having 2 X chromosomes and 1 Y chromosome. Such a condition in male is called Klinefelter's syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome is characterized by individuals who are sterile and mentally retarded. So these are the conditions due to sex chromosomes in males and females. In females, one X chromosome is inactive, so such a condition is called Turner syndrome. But whereas in the males, you have an extra X chromosome, and such a condition is called Klinefelter's syndrome. Now, most of the genes are also linked on the X chromosome, so we'll just discuss a few. Sex-linked inheritance. By the term itself, it is very clear that the inheritance due to the genes which are linked on the X chromosome. So one famous example is color blindness. Color blindness is a condition characterized by in which an individual is unable to differentiate between red and green color. That means this individual cannot differentiate or look at red and green color. So color blindness is a recessive X-linked inheritance. That means for an individual to experience color blindness, the genes have to be in the recessive condition, and both these genes are found in the X chromosome. That means if I cross a normal male with a recessive female, both the female has recessive for both genes. I have characterized the recessive by giving a small apostrophe like symbol. So what happens is gametes X, Y, X, X. So, in the offsprings, I'm getting 4 individuals, 2 males and 2 females. Both the females are carriers for color blindness, because I already told you color blindness is recessive. So, since recessive means it is not completely dominant, so that means it is not completely expressed. So, in order for a recessive character to be expressed, both characters have to be in the homogametic recessive condition. So that means this individual is a female carrier. Similarly, this individual is also a female carrier. But whereas the males, they have only one X chromosome, and both the X chromosome come from the mother, that means the males are color blind. Another sex-linked inheritance is hemophilia. Hemophilia is also recessive X-linked character. Hemophilia is a condition in which a clotting factor is missing. That means even if you have a small cut, the individual bleeds continuously and it might even lead to death. So again, the same thing, hemophilia is a recessive character. It has to be in the homogametic recessive condition to be expressed. So what you get is these offsprings are of which females might be the carriers and males might be the sufferers. So these are the few sex-linked inheritance. There are also other linked inheritance disorders, like for example sickle cell anemia. It is not due to sex chromosomes, but rather due to autosomes, and it is also because of recessive condition. Now in sickle cell anemia, what happens is the individual who has an autosome which is recessive for the sickle cell condition, the RBCs are not the normal shaped, but rather they end up having a sickle shaped condition. This is the normal RBC. This is the condition which an individual has, when he is suffering from sickle cell anemia. So sickle cell anemia is rather advantageous in countries where malaria is spreading rapidly, because malaria is caused by plasmodium, and plasmodium usually survives in RBCs. So a normal RBC can lead to the growth of plasmodium causing malaria, but an individual with a sickle shaped shape, the plasmodium cannot grow, so the individual survives from malaria. Another autosomal recessive disorder is thalassemia. Thalassemia is mostly common in Mediterranean countries. In thalassemia, what happens is the RBCs are not properly formed and they are very short lived. So next thing is genetic disorders. That means disorders caused due to chromosomes, and chromosomes there might either be an extra chromosome or no chromosome at all. So I already mentioned you a few conditions like Turner's syndrome. In Turner's syndrome, there is no one chromosome. That means the individual only has one X chromosome. Another condition I already told you, Klinefelter's syndrome. In this case, the individual has an extra X chromosome. Both Turner syndrome and Klinefelter syndrome is due to sex chromosomes. In one condition there is an extra, in one condition there is no chromosome. Similarly, another genetic disorder is called Down syndrome. In Down syndrome, what happens is there is an extra chromosome, and the extra chromosome is chromosome number 21. So such individuals are mentally and physically retarded, but they have a great sense of humor. Down syndrome basically occurs when the female has babies after the age of 40, or they tend to smoke during pregnancy. So these are all the genetic disorders. So this much for today. We'll be continuing in the next class.